Hello, warriors. It is Susie Barolo, and I am a mindfulness-based cognitive coach, which means in short term that I help you learn how to work with your mind and how your thoughts work, and so that you can be more mindful in your day. Mindful to me just means being aware of which thoughts you're thinking and how they are impacting your life. That leads right into my post from today. I don't know if you read or saw or listened to mine from last week, but I encourage you to, because it was called Emotional Management 101, and today's post is 201. Last week was very popular, talking about some stuff that we'll get into today, and I do encourage you to listen to that again, or for the first time if you haven't yet, because it's a good one. So is this one, so let's dig right in. But a quick recap from last week's Emotional Management 101 lesson. Since most of our kids are in school, let's have a little quiz ourselves. Question 1, can you make your kids angry? Question 2, can you make your mother-in-law happy? Question 3, can you make your husband mad? Question 4, can your neighbor disrespect you? Want the answers? They're nope, 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 and no. We cannot make someone else feel a certain way. Someone else cannot make us feel a certain way. We do not feel a certain way because of something that happened. We do not feel a certain way because of something someone did. We feel how we feel because of the thoughts we think. Our feelings come directly from the thoughts we focus on. Chew on that for a bit. We feel how we feel because of the thoughts we focus on. What are thoughts, you ask? Thoughts are sentences in our mind. They are not fact. They cannot be proved in a court of law. They are not necessarily true. You want some examples of thoughts, things that zing around in our head? Here are some thoughts that are not necessarily true. Rain is depressing. I am disorganized. My husband does not support me. My kids are messy. Wine or Netflix or shopping calms me down. My job sucks. My son has trouble focusing. My daughter is bad at making friends. Those are all thoughts, people. Yay, Emotional Management 201. Those are thoughts, sentences in our head that we tell ourselves. Not necessarily true. Things that we're choosing to focus on. The ones you focus on create the feelings you feel, and they will create the life you live. How do you feel when you think, my husband doesn't support me? I don't know about you, but I would feel a bit pissy perhaps. How do you act when you feel that way? When you act that way, is he excited about being around you? Does he want to learn more about what you're doing? It's just a small example of how the thoughts you focus on create the results you see in your life. You choosing to think my husband doesn't support me gets you to feel pissy, act in a certain way, and then he probably doesn't support you in that moment because, heck, sorry, you probably don't even support yourself. You don't want to be around yourself. Do you get the point? Research shows that we have between 60 to 80,000 thoughts a day. These are sentences that run around in our head that we're largely unconscious of, meaning we don't stop to think about what we're thinking. Even crazier, 85 to 92% of those thoughts are thoughts that we've thought before. Become aware of what you're thinking. Take time to listen into those sentences that are zinging around in your head. What are you telling yourself? Whose voice is that? Who has said that to you before in your life? Your mom? An old teacher? Thoughts also come from what we put into our brain every day. The newspaper, Facebook, magazines, coworkers, friends, family, radio, TV. Start to pay attention to all the input that's coming into your brain. Since the thoughts we focus on have such an influence on our overall mental health, it's crucial to pay attention to not only which old thoughts we're letting resurface, but which new thoughts we're feeding our brain. I am very careful about what I feed my brain, actually. I consciously choose to not start my day with news, social media, email, or even the newspaper. I pay attention to who I spend time around and which messages I'm feeding my brain. I encourage you to do the same. How do you feel? And I encourage you to do the same and also to investigate some of the, like after you spend time with friends, how do you feel after you spend time with those friends or relatives? How do you feel after you spend time reading the paper or watching the news? You're feeling the way you feel based on the thoughts you're thinking. Our gift as humans is the ability to think about what we're thinking about. Homo sapiens sapiens. We think about what we're thinking about. That is our gift. Don't throw it away. Use it. My main work as a cognitive coach is threefold. First, attention. Teach you the tools to pay attention to the thoughts that you're thinking. Second, responsibility. Teach you that you're responsible for your mind and your emotional state. It is your choice to choose to focus on the thoughts you're thinking. And third, conscious living. Teach you how to manage your mind so that you can consciously choose which thoughts to focus on and to get the results in your life that you desire. What does this look like? 2 examples of how coaching shows up. Eating. Say you want to lose weight, and so you set a goal to avoid dessert. Part 1, attention. Pay attention to what you've been thinking when you chose to eat dessert in the past. Or say you just chose to eat, you wake up in the morning and you're like, I thought I was going to skip dessert. My role is to get you to start paying attention to what you were telling yourself. 2, to understand that you've been choosing to think these thoughts, that they're not fact. Maybe you thought, I deserve ice cream after my tough day. Or eating healthy is too hard. Those are just sentences in your head. Those are not true. You're making them true. You could probably give me some evidence, but they're not true. You're choosing to think it. So then, 3, the conscious living part, choose whether those thoughts help you with your overall weight loss goals. If not, we work together to find more empowering thoughts to reach a more empowered state of well-being. Second example, say exercise. Say you want to start moving your body daily and set the goal to exercise in the morning. So 1, you get to pay attention to what you're thinking when your alarm clock goes off before you hit snooze. So if you woke up this morning, you had every intention to go exercise, but you hit snooze, what were you thinking when you hit snooze? First step, start paying attention to what your brain is telling yourself. 2, understand that you're choosing to think those thoughts. So if you thought, I don't need to start this morning, or sleep is more important than exercise, or I'll exercise tomorrow instead, bring awareness that those are just sentences you're telling yourself in your head. Those are not truths. And 3, choose whether those thoughts help you and your overall goals. We have so much more control over our days than we realize, often more than we even want. Once you realize that the results you have in your life are because of the thoughts that you're choosing to focus on, sort of like, oh, really? But I was blaming him or her, or, I don't even know. I've heard of some people blaming their grandmothers for their weight. No, it's you putting the fork in your mouth, okay? So let's start to become responsible. We cannot control what happens around us or happens to us often, but we can always control our thoughts about what is happening and our reaction to what has happened. That is freedom, and it has brought me, it makes life a little harder to do the work, but it has brought me such freedom and calmness in my life. I wouldn't trade it for anything. So ask yourself, how do I want to show up today? How do I want to feel? What are my goals? Use my 3 steps of conscious living to get the results you want in your life. Each and every one of us is capable of living a life that we love every day. No one is going to hand it to you, and no one else is responsible for that life except for you. What are you doing with this one precious life you've been given? What are you doing with this one precious September 2017 that you've been given? How about this one precious day? Choose and go make it happen. Go for it, warriors.